Okay. So a few nights ago, I got to watch Godzilla versus King Ghidorah, which is the third film in the Heisei era. And I feel like it's been a while since I have watched a Godzilla movie that was this just aggressively silly and just embracing it. Like, I feel like I haven't seen one this silly since Megalon. Because after Megalon, I think were the two Mechagodzilla movies. And it's been a couple years, but from what I remember, the first one felt a bit more serious, and there's the whole, like, King Caesar thing. It's like, oh, we gotta do all this because Mechagodzilla is such a problem. Yeah, we gotta find this guy so he can save us. And yeah, I think King Caesar was kind of lame, and I wanted him to be awesome because I love Okinawa, but it is what it is. And then Terror of Mechagodzilla, maybe I'm just not remembering it as well, but I feel like it wasn't super. I mean, there's a giant metal Godzilla, like it's still kind of silly, but I don't remember it being like as aggressively silly. And then Return of Godzilla is definitely a more serious movie. Biolante, there is some silliness to it, but overall I feel like it plays it pretty straight, and I really like it for that. I've seen -1, plays it very, very straight. Shin Godzilla plays it very, very straight, and then there's this goofy shit. Oh my gosh. Oh, I guess there's a Godzilla v Kong, but I don't know, man. This is way more insane than Godzilla v Kong 2. The whole plot of this movie is that in the future, it was in what, like the 23rd century, Japan is not a global superpower, it is the global superpower. It is so cool that like it is unfair to the rest of the world that Japan is that cool. So time travelers go into present day to... Oh gosh, what was it? The plan is we're going to go back to when Godzilla first mutated, because he was just a legit dinosaur that was still alive, but was on an island that got like nuclear testing during World War II, and that's what evolved him into Godzilla. So we're gonna go there, we're gonna kill that thing and not nuke it so it doesn't become Godzilla. Then we are going to put 3 little dragons, what do they call them, like Gantras or something? With these 3 little dragons on that island. So, the nuclear stuff is gonna turn these 3 little dragons into King Ghidorah, and then KG is gonna just screw over Japan. It's just gonna do all sorts of damage everywhere. Where does it attack? Is it Fukuoka, I think? And, like, the destruction's top tier. Like, it's really cool. And, like, one thing I remember Clay pointing out that I think is pretty accurate. For the most part, when Godzilla destroys things, it doesn't feel malicious. Like, in some movies, like in -1, he feels pretty malicious. But very often, Godzilla's just doing stuff, like taking a walk, and then here's all the collateral damage. Ghidorah feels malicious. Like, I am actively destroying things because they're there and because I want to. And, like, that is something I enjoy. But the plan is, we're gonna have Ghidorah just level Japan so it cannot become the global superpower, not reach that level of dominance, so things become more fair for the rest of humanity. That's the basic plot of the movie. We're already getting crazy. There's also one of the dudes from the future is a robot. Like, he's just a full Terminator, and he's like doing the Robert Patrick run. Gosh, there's a scene when they're like trying to fight him in a car and like his car explodes. Like, cause there's even a point like the car flips over. I'm like, oh man, I wanted to see it explode, and then it explodes, and then he's just standing there in the fire, and both Clay and I are like, wait, is he a Terminator? And then he just starts doing the run, like passes the car, kind of gives them a like, yeah, what are you gonna do about it? Like, it's so funny. They keep the Peter Spielberg line. Oh gosh, what was the setup to it? Something like, is that the enemy? Like, no, don't be stupid. That's an alien spacecraft. But don't worry, Major Spielberg. You can tell your son all about it. Oh my gosh, like every line from the American soldiers was like the worst red line of dialogue I ever heard. It was incredible. The scene where, like, original dinosaur Godzilla, before he digivolves from nuclear radiation, he's just literally stepping on dudes. It was just fun. Like, oh my gosh, it's just so dumb. I loved it. Like, don't get me wrong, I love how silly this movie is. Because I do enjoy, like, a serious Godzilla movie. Most of my favorite Godzilla movies are like that. The original, -1, Shin Godzilla. Ghidorah, not so much. Like, Ghidorah's kind of in the middle. But, and like, Biollante, I think, like, there's a lot of stuff in Biollante, like, where the John Wick dude just gets fried. Like, yeah, that was funny. That was cool. But it also, like, it has a sense of humor, but still feels like it is telling a serious, compelling narrative. And then there's this, which is not trying to do that at all. And it's great. It is such a fun movie. Like, during the fight, like, I think Goji just trips and falls over, and so Ghidorah just... It's like jumping on his head, like he's Goomba stomping Godzilla repeatedly. And then Godzilla gets behind him, grabs him by the tail. Poof, poof, poof. It's like he's just spamming the same move, and then it like cuts away to the humans and like what they're doing, and you know, they're like, oh, yo, how are we gonna stop Godzilla, you know, and there's the future, all the stuff going on, and then when it finally cuts back, Godzilla's still spamming the same attack, like he's been doing the same thing for 5 minutes, and KG can do nothing about it. There's a bit where Ghidorah's like middle head coils around Godzilla's neck and starts choking him, like, oh, that's cool. So what does Goji do? He just pulses his body with nuclear radiation, which knocks KG back, fires an atomic breath that decapitates the middle head. It's so freaking cool. So, and then I think it's after that, like, the Ghidorah's flying away, gets atomic breathed in the wing, falls into the ocean. They're like, okay, cool. We don't have to deal with KG anymore. Now we gotta deal with the big G. What do we do about Godzilla? Which is something I have liked about the Heisei era so far. Because as much as I love superhero Godzilla, I do like that in this era. I don't know if it's continuous, but it almost sounds like it's going to be. Godzilla is not a hero. It is not, oh man, there's a monster. If only Godzilla was here to save us. It's, well... When Godzilla beats the thing, we still have to deal with him. Like, there was a big chunk of Biollante of, like, cool, like, he took care of the other threat. Who's gonna save us from Godzilla? So the plan is, wait a second. Why don't you're from the future and you're our friend. Why don't you go into the future, find the body of King Ghidorah, make it a robot? Like, make cyborg, it's a Mecha King Ghidorah, but it's like, make him a cyborg, bring him back, and then he can fight Godzilla. And then so she is piloting Mecha King Ghidorah, which has like 2 regular heads, some cybernetics, and a full-on metal head. Like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. It's so aggressively silly, and it does not care. I loved it. I had so much fun watching this movie. And what's great, was the first time we tried watching it, I fell asleep, and I was just really tired. I had a very, very long day. It's like, I'm kind of barely keeping my eyes open. Even thinking about it, I'm falling asleep. It was like the first 15, 17 minutes or so of the movie of just, okay, there was a guy on like a dinosaur island, and, you know, we think that Godzilla was mutated from that. And then once we start the movie again, it wasn't very long until we got to the major Spielberg line, and I'm like, okay, wait a second. I think this movie is about to be going. And it absolutely is. I was saying in my Thursday video yesterday that my current top 5 Godzilla movies, with like pretty much the exception of Ghidorah, or it's like, here's more serious Godzilla movies, and I think these are my favorites. And then the tier right below that are just, here's the Ghidorah movies, because like the other ones I consider my favorites would be Three-Headed Monster, Astro Monster, King of the Monsters. I think this is in that same category. It's just a really, really good, fun time. But I had mentioned with Biollante that my favorite moment in the movie is one that was cut, and it's after their first fight when Biollante like turns to the like field of flowers, and Godzilla just looks around, and at first, you know, he's just kind of confused as to what's happening. Like, he's still in like, is there a threat mode? And then that gives way to what seems like genuine sadness and regret. And I've really liked the way Godzilla is characterized in this era. And I mentioned that a little bit ago, how Godzilla's not a hero. It's like, no, it's like when he's done fighting what he has to fight, you still have to deal with him being a menace. But in addition to that, there's these moments of like vulnerability and almost humanity. Like in Return of Godzilla, there's like that scream he gives as he's falling into the volcano. Like, you feel the genuine fear and terror. Biollante showed that sense of regret. And in this movie, it's that scene with Shindo, who's like, you know, the only reason I am alive today is because of Godzilla. It's because of that dinosaur that happened to be there on that island during World War II. Again, silly as hell. But it's because of this creature that I am alive. And we had to use nuclear weapons to, like, because of, like, the time travel shenanigans, we knew we needed Godzilla to save us from King Ghidorah, so we had to use nuclear weapons to turn it into what it is now. And I hate that I have had to use those. I hate that I have affected and hurt the creature in that capacity. And I know I'm responsible for any damage it does. So there's this moment where, like, he should have evacuated, but he's still in the building, and he just looks at Goji, and he just nods. And Godzilla looks back at him. And then he nods too. Because I think it even shows, like, Godzilla remembers him all those years ago. Where, you know, as this... It will never not be funny to me. It's like, yeah, there was just a dinosaur that was still alive in, like, 1942. But it's like, no, but that injured creature remembered this man and the way that man looked at him and, like, the gratitude and the respect. And you can almost kind of feel like, I'm ready. Are you sure? Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, there's also a scene where the dudes from the future are gonna try to go back to the future, and like I think it's like literally like the second before their time travel's about to go off, they get blasted and vaporized by the atomic breath. So there's one moment where Godzilla hits someone like almost point blank with an atomic breath. And it's this really, like, surprisingly tender moment from Goji. It's, like, really sad, but really works. And then it's just, like, the coolest, funnest thing you could ever do. This movie rules. this movie's... Oh, the Dorats. That's what I think the little Goji, or not Gojis, the little KGs were called. I wrote that down. Sorry, now I'm just checking my notes. Is there... Oh, yeah, I had written, like, Koji premutation looks like Theodore Rex. Oh, yeah, I don't think I even brought up just, yeah, it's Fukuoka that he destroyed. But I don't think I even brought up just how good King Ghidorah looks in this movie. Like, I've really liked the Heisei suits and Heisei designs. And I'm excited to see my girl Mothra in the next movie. Let's see. Yeah, the car exploding. Oh, right! I forgot about the dogfight. So there's, like, a scene when, like, you know, Ghidorah's destroying shit. And then they send in the planes to go fight him. Which, you know, is not going to end well. We're in a dogfight against a 3-headed dragon. But it was really cool, and I was saying to Clay, I was like, dude, could you imagine a collab between, like, this and Star Fox? Where you're, like, playing as Team Star Fox, and you gotta go fight this thing. That sounds so cool. Just the Goomba stomping on Godzilla's head. Oh, yeah, I forgot, like, when Godzilla's getting choked, he actually started foaming at the mouth. Like, that was a really neat detail. Like, I talk about how silly this movie is, but the movie is really violent. And in a monster fight, you know, I do want to see that. But I was like, oh, like, I appreciated that attention to detail. Yeah, the disintegration. Oh, yeah, I forgot. There's a goofy scene where, like, after he beats KG and he's just stomping around, he just, like, steps into a subway and he trips and falls. It was just funny. I appreciated that. Yeah, Mecha King Ghidorah. That was so cool. I loved this thing. Oh, yeah, because so during the fight with Mecha KG, there's a scene where, you know, Godzilla just like, he gets knocked over, he gets blasted, and all the buildings around him are getting destroyed, and then out of this mound of rubble just comes a big atomic breath. That looked really cool. Oh, this movie was so fun. And then at the end of the movie, you know, Mecha King Ghidorah's in the water, Godzilla's in the water, and then he just fires an atomic breath, and it just turns the water into bubbles, and you just hear They use the theme a lot in this movie. You're like, man, it was great. I really liked it. I think this, like I said, this is an aggressively silly Godzilla movie. Because there's Godzilla movies that are serious, there are Godzilla movies that are kind of a mix, and then there's goofy shit like this. And I loved it, man. I really enjoyed this movie. The Heisei era, like, I'm not crazy about Return of Godzilla, but I feel like it has a really good start and, like, a really good finish. And then in the middle, it feels like it meanders a bit, but there's still good stuff throughout. Like, I feel like it's solid. So, I think we're 3 for 3 in this era so far. Arguably 2 of 3. Which means it's a better start than the Showa era, because the original is still one of my 2 favorite movies in the series. Raids, again, I don't think is that good, but there are some peak moments of destruction. And then Kong vs. Godzilla sucks for like 90% of it, and then the last 10 minutes are fantastic. But I don't think it's enough to save. Like, I don't think I would ever watch King Kong versus Godzilla again, but I would watch that fight again. But no, I would watch this movie. At some point, I think when I'm done with all of them, I do want to do like an official tier list, or at least it's like, here is my actual ranking. And I think it really is just going to come down to, how likely would I be to rewatch this movie in its entirety? Okay, would I just want, like, is there just specific scenes I would want to watch? Or is it going to be, like, all monsters attack? Or I'm like, I don't think I really want to watch any of this movie again. Anyways, that's it. I don't know when we're going to watch Mothra. Maybe, probably not tonight. But hopefully sometime this weekend I can go and get the next one done.